Seni gidi fındık kıran yılanı deliğinden çıkaran.
All right, get ready, because today we are taking a deep dive into Turkey.
Oh, wow. Turkey. I'm excited to hear more.
You know, one of our listeners actually suggested this one, and after doing some research, I have to say, I am completely fascinated.
I can see why.
Yeah, vibrant culture, incredible history, and like breathtaking landscapes.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about all of that, from those iconic landmarks like the Hagia Sophia to both, like the traditional and modern music scenes.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's really a place where East meets West.
You know, that's what's really fascinating about Turkey. It really does sit at the crossroads geographically and culturally. And as we kind of go through all this stuff, you know, we can kind of keep an eye out for how all those influences come together to create something truly.
Okay. First things first, I want to talk about Turkish hospitality.
Okay.
Because we can all appreciate good hospitality. And like, I've heard stories, you know, about this before, but wow, the sources we looked at, they really paint this picture of like being treated like royalty when you're in Turkey.
Absolutely. And it's not just about like being polite or anything. It's like ingrained in their culture.
Yeah.
You know, generosity and respect for guests.
Yeah.
Like super important values to them. It's all about just creating a welcoming and warm atmosphere where you really feel cared for.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
And this is what really stood out to me.
Yeah.
They talked about serving endless cups of tea in these like beautiful tulip-shaped glasses. Like, can you even imagine?
Oh, yeah.
It's such a like just an image of warmth and elegance.
Absolutely. And there's a deeper meaning there too. Like refusing a cup of tea actually like considered impolite.
Oh, wow.
So it all ties back to, you know, respecting their customs and valuing that generosity of your host.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of generosity, we got to talk about Turkish cuisine.
Yeah.
Okay. Kebabs, pita bread, baklava. It's all so tempting.
It really is, yeah.
It really is.
A delight for the senses.
Our sources were like drool-worthy with their description.
And it's not just about the taste either.
Yeah.
You know, you got all this history and cultural influences woven into every single dish. For example, like those juicy kebabs you mentioned.
Yeah.
Roots go back centuries.
Wow.
You know, reflecting the nomadic heritage of Turkish people.
Yeah, that's what I love. Like, food is even more interesting when you understand the story behind it.
Absolutely.
Okay, but let's talk about Turkish coffee.
All right.
Because this is what really grabbed my attention.
Okay.
It's not just a drink, it's like an experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
You know, that strong, thick coffee
Yeah.
in those tiny little cups, it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
Then you got the whole fortune telling from the coffee grounds.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's like peering into the unknown.
It's so cool. It reminds me of, you know, other cultures use tea leaves or tarot cards, you know, for divination.
Yeah.
And it just makes you wonder about those universal human desires, you know,
Totally, yeah.
to just get a glimpse of the future.
And it speaks to how important ritual and connection are in their culture, too.
Right.
Like sharing a cup of coffee and having your fortune read, you know? It's like a deeply social and meaningful act.
Very cool. Okay, so with our senses totally tantalized by those delicious descriptions,
Yeah.
I think we need to head to, like, one of the most iconic cities in the world,
Right.
Istanbul.
Okay.
You know, and what blows my mind,
What's that?
it literally straddles 2 continents.
I know, right?
Like, come on.
It's amazing.
So cool.
Remarkable location, really.
Yeah.
Sits right on that Bosphorus Strait, which separates Europe and Asia.
Yeah.
And for centuries, you know, that geographical position has made it such a melting pot of cultures and history, empires rising and falling, and all leaving their mark on the city,
Wow.
on its architecture, on its spirit, everything.
Okay, well, speaking of history,
Yeah.
can't talk about Istanbul without mentioning the Hagia Sophia.
Of course, yeah.
This building has been both a church and a mosque, right?
It's incredible, yeah.
Talk about a fascinating past.
It really reflects just the ebb and flow of power and faith over centuries.
Yeah.
Like, first built as this grand Byzantine cathedral, like way back in the 6th century. And then in the 15th century, when the Ottomans, you know, conquered Constantinople, it got converted into a mosque.
Wow.
Then 20th century it became a museum. And then just recently converted back into a mosque.
Wow. Each, like, transformation is like a chapter in a history book.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see why it's such like a focal point for discussions, you know, not just about religion, but about like, the politics of cultural heritage too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not just a beautiful building.
Right.
It like embodies all the complexities of history and this ongoing dialogue between different cultures and beliefs.
Right. Okay. So after all that history, I think I'm ready for a little retail therapy.
Oh, yeah.
I read about this grand bazaar,
Oh, yeah.
this massive ancient marketplace.
It's amazing.
It's supposed to be like a shopper's paradise.
It is, yes.
I can only imagine the sights, sounds, smells.
Oh, it's a sensory overload in the best possible way.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Okay. Just picture like a labyrinth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over 4,000 shops filled with like everything you could possibly imagine.
Wow.
From spices to carpets to jewelry to ceramics. It's been a bustling center of trade since like the 15th century.
So you're saying I could get lost in there for days?
Easily, yeah.
I'd probably come out with like a whole new wardrobe and enough souvenirs to last a lifetime.
And don't forget the haggling.
Oh, the haggling.
It's expected, yeah.
It's part of the fun.
Okay, that's where my skills might fall short.
Really?
Yeah, I'm more of a like see it, love it, buy it kind of shopper.
Okay.
But I guess that's part of the cultural experience, right? Absolutely. It's like a playful back and forth, a chance to, connect with the vendors.
Yeah.
Appreciate the art of negotiation.
Right.
Who knows, you might even surprise yourself. Discover a hidden talent for bargaining.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll surprise myself. But for now, let's leave the bustling marketplace behind
All right.
and journey to a place that looks like it's straight out of a dream.
Where's that?
Cappadocia.
Cappadocia.
Prepare to be mesmerized.
Yeah, the landscape is absolutely surreal.
I know. It's so cool.
With these, like, incredible rock formations, they're like something out of a fairy tale.
Yeah. The sources describe them as, like, fairy chimneys.
Yeah,
How cool is that?
They're amazing.
And apparently there's no better way to experience it than from a hot air balloon at sunrise.
You're telling me.
Have you been?
I haven't been up in a hot air balloon, but I've seen the pictures. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
I've seen the pictures too, and it just looks amazing.
Imagine you're just like floating above this otherworldly landscape, and the sun is painting the sky with like hues of orange and pink.
Oh, wow.
And the fairy chimneys below are casting these long shadows.
Oh, that sounds so magical.
It's truly magical.
Okay, that is officially on my bucket list.
Good.
This deep dive's turning into a travel itinerary.
I like it.
But before we book our flights,
Okay.
let's explore the sounds of Turkey.
Okay.
I am really curious about the music scene there.
Turkish music is incredibly diverse.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's got roots that go back centuries,
Wow.
but it's also constantly evolving. Are you ready for a sonic adventure?
Bring it on. I'm ready to be transported by, the rhythms and melodies of Turkey.
All right, so let's start with the traditional side of things.
Okay.
You'll hear instruments like the saz, which is like a long-necked lute,
Okay.
often accompanies storytelling, folk songs, things like that. And then there's the ni, which is a type of flute with like this haunting, almost mystical sound, deeply connected to Sufi music and spiritual practices.
Okay, those instruments sound incredible.
They are.
Yeah, like I can almost hear the stories and emotions woven into their music,
Yeah.
What makes those sounds so distinctive and like evocative of Turkish culture?
Well, the saz, for example, it's often considered the national instrument of Turkey.
Oh, wow.
And it's melancholic melodies,
Yeah.
They really evoke this sense of longing, of nostalgia, kind of reflects like the history and traditions of the Turkish people.
Yeah.
And then the ni, on the other hand, with its breathy, ethereal tones, it's said to connect listeners to a deeper, like, spiritual realm,
Oh, wow.
which is, a very common theme in Turkish mysticism.
That's fascinating. So it's not just about the notes themselves. It's really about the emotions and cultural nuances that they convey.
Absolutely.
It makes me want to, like, hear them for myself.
You definitely should.
Yeah. But we'll delve into all that a little bit later.
Okay.
For now, let's transition to, like, the more modern side of Turkish music.
All right.
Now, you may have heard of a pop star by the name of Tarkan.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about, like, the Kiss Kiss song guy?
Yes.
That song is iconic.
I know, right?
I had no idea he was Turkish.
His real name is Tarkan Tevetoğlu,
Okay.
and his song Şımarık, which means spoiled in Turkish, was a global sensation back in the late 90s.
Wow.
And it's a great example of how Turkish music can, blend those traditional elements with modern pop sensibilities.
This is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
I've been singing along to Turkish music without even realizing it.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, wow.
And there's like a whole wave of new artists making waves in Turkey and beyond.
Mm.
One name that comes to mind is Reinman.
Okay.
His song, Durdum Olsun, meaning like Let Me Have My Troubles, was a massive hit. Resonated with a lot of the younger generations.
And it shows like that kind of dynamic evolution that's happening in Turkish music today.
That's incredible.
Yeah, right.
So we've got like the traditional folk music with those soulful melodies, modern pop with those catchy beats, everything in between.
Exactly.
This musical journey is shaping up to be just as exciting as, our explorations of Turkish culture and history.
Absolutely.
And we're just getting started, right?
They're just getting started.
Okay, so are you ready to like dive deeper into the sounds of Turkey?
Let's do it.
You bet. But before we do, I think we need to take a break for some Turkish coffee.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe a taste of baklava.
Sounds like a plan.
What do you say?
Let's immerse ourselves in the flavors of Turkey before we continue this sonic adventure.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so are you ready to dive back into this vibrant world of Turkish music?
Oh, absolutely. I'm feeling energized and ready to explore all those like soulful melodies and captivating rhythms that we were talking about. Perfect. All right, so let's transport ourselves to a traditional Turkish coffee house. Like the air is thick with the scent of cardamom and the sound of like a saz fills the room. And imagine a group of musicians, like their fingers are just dancing across the strings, weaving these tales of love and loss and longing.
Wow, I can practically hear the music swirling around me.
Yeah.
And, what's fascinating is how the saz is often used for storytelling.
Yeah.
It's almost like a musical narrator.
Exactly. It's so deeply rooted in the Turkish folk traditions.
Yeah.
And that saz player, they become like a conduit for these ancient stories that are passed down like generation after generation.
Wow.
And it's like they're carrying the weight of history and emotion in every note.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the note earlier. That flute with the like almost otherworldly sound. It's like it's hard to even imagine an instrument being connected to like both music and these spiritual practices,
It really is unique.
Yeah. The knees sound, it's like breathy and ethereal.
Yeah.
It creates this sense of introspection, of transcendence. And, in Sufi traditions, it's believed that the knees music can actually like help listeners connect with the divine.
Wow.
It's a journey of self-discovery.
Wow, that's incredible. It makes me want to like close my eyes and just listen.
Yeah.
And just let the music, wash over me.
Yeah.
And transport me to another realm.
And that's the beauty of Turkish music, right?
Yeah.
It has that ability to like evoke such powerful emotions, connect you to something deeper.
Powerful.
But enough talk.
Okay.
Let's actually hear it.
Okay.
I've got a clip here of a traditional Turkish song, featuring both the saz and the knee.
Awesome.
Let's take a listen.
Oh, wow. That was incredible. The combination of the saz and the knee creates like this hauntingly beautiful sound.
Yeah.
Like it's both melancholic and uplifting.
Yeah, right.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Like it's like a musical journey through the heart and soul of Turkey.
Absolutely, yeah.
So beautiful.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So now let's shift gears a little bit and fast forward to the modern music scene. You already mentioned Tarkan
Yeah.
and his, global hit Kiss Kiss.
Kiss Kiss.
Which perfectly captures that blend of like traditional and modern influences.
Right. It's so catchy and upbeat, but there's still like that distinct Turkish flavor.
Right.
Yeah, I can see why it became such a sensation.
It's a testament to how Turkish music can like really transcend borders.
Yeah.
Appeal to a global audience.
Yeah.
And, Tarkan kind of paved the way for a whole new generation of artists who are, experimenting with all sorts of genres, blending Turkish sounds with pop and electronic music, even hip hop.
That's what I love about music. It's just constantly evolving, reflecting, the changing times and cultural influences.
Yeah, it's a living, breathing art form,
Exactly.
And in Turkey, you can really see this evolution happening in real time.
Yeah.
You got artists like Reinman, we mentioned him earlier, appealing to younger generations with his like blend of pop and traditional Turkish elements. It's this fascinating fusion that speaks to just the like dynamic nature of Turkish culture.
It's incredible to see, how Turkish music has managed to like preserve its unique identity while embracing, these new sounds and styles.
Yeah.
It's a testament to like the creativity, the resilience of Turkish artists.
And it's a reminder, too, that music can be such a powerful tool, for cultural exchange and understanding.
Yeah.
It allows us to connect with other cultures, on this emotional level. It breaks down those barriers.
Yeah.
And fosters this appreciation for the diversity of human expression.
Well said. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of Turkish music.
I know, right?
It's a world I definitely want to explore further.
I encourage you to. I mean, there's so much to discover, from the soulful sounds of the traditional instruments. Yeah. To those cutting-edge beats of the modern, electronic music. It's a sonic journey, that'll surprise and delight you.
I'm convinced. But for now, I think our virtual trip to Turkey needs to come to an end.
Yeah, I agree. It's been incredible, hasn't it?
It has.
We've explored, the warmth of Turkish hospitality, the grandeur of Istanbul, the surreal landscapes of Cappadocia, and, those captivating sounds of Turkish music.
It's been like a whirlwind of fascinating discoveries.
I know, right?
Yeah, but before we say goodbye, I'd love to hear your final thoughts.
Okay.
What are some key takeaways for our listeners?
I think the biggest takeaway is that Turkey really offers this rich tapestry of experiences. A place where East meets West, where ancient traditions blend seamlessly with modern influences.
Yeah.
It's a country that will, challenge your perspectives, ignite your senses, and leave you wanting more.
You've painted such a, vivid picture.
I try.
I'm already, feeling that wanderlust kicking in.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
But before we let our listener go, what aspect of Turkish culture would you suggest they delve into further?
Well, based on their initial interest in Turkey, I think they would be fascinated by exploring this concept called keyf, which is deeply ingrained in their culture.
Keyf. I don't think we don't talk about that yet. What does that mean?
It's one of those words that doesn't really have a direct translation in English.
Okay.
But it kind of encapsulates, this idea of slowing down, savoring the moment, and finding joy in just those simple pleasures of life.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
It's like a philosophy of living that emphasizes mindfulness.
Yeah.
And an appreciation for, everyday beauty around us.
Exactly. It's about taking that time to enjoy a cup of Turkish coffee with friends.
Yeah.
To wander through a bustling street in the bazaar, to listen to those soulful melodies of, the traditional music. It's about finding those moments of contentment and connection that really just make life so rich.
I love that. It's a reminder that sometimes the most profound experiences come from slowing down.
Yeah.
And appreciating those little things.
The little things, exactly. Yeah. And I think exploring this concept of keyf would really give your listener a much deeper understanding of the Turkish mindset and way of life.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Well, this has been an absolutely incredible deep dive. I feel like I've learned so much.
Me too.
I'm sure our listener has too. Thank you for being such a fantastic guide on this journey.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. I always enjoy sharing my passion for Turkey and, its rich culture.
And to our listener, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity.
Yeah.
And inspired you to, explore Turkey further, whether it's through the music or the food or the history or simply embracing that concept of keyf. There's a world of wonder waiting to be discovered.
Yes, there is.
Until next time, happy exploring.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to book a flight after all that.
I know, right? Turkish hospitality, those landscapes, that music.
It's amazing.
It's hard to resist.
Yeah, even if a trip isn't in the cards right now.
Yeah.
I think we've given our listener plenty to explore, from wherever they are.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, they could seek out some Turkish music.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe even try to find a local concert.
Oh, yeah.
Or, a cultural event.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, or they could experiment with some Turkish recipes. I bet there's tons of online resources and cookbooks and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, and we can't forget about the coffee.
Of course not.
I bet they could find a local shop that serves authentic Turkish coffee. Maybe even one that does that fortune reading thing.
Yeah, that would be an experience.
Yeah.
It's all about taking those little steps to bring the culture to life, even if you can't be there in person.
Right. Exactly. Speaking of bringing it to life, what would you say is the most important takeaway for our listeners today?
I think it's clear that Turkey offers like a truly enriching experience, and one that goes beyond just like ticking off those tourist attractions. It's about like really immersing yourself in a culture that's both ancient and modern, where hospitality is an art form, and beauty can be found in literally everything, from the landscapes to the music.
You've captured it perfectly.
Thanks.
It's about like opening yourself up to new perspectives, new flavors, new ways of seeing the world.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe this deep dive will inspire our listener to like plan a trip to Turkey someday.
You never know. I have a feeling it might, but until then, there's like a whole world of Turkish culture, right, at their fingertips.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes, these deep dives so rewarding. They spark that curiosity, open up these new avenues for learning and hopefully inspire a lifelong love of discovery.
Well said. And to our listener, thank you so much for joining us on this, incredible journey through Turkey.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you've enjoyed the ride, and we
hope you'll
we hope you'll come back for more.